quickly being moved.
But thou art not quickly moved to strike.
The dog of the house of monarchy moves me.
To move is to stir, and to be valiant is to stand. Therefore, if thou art moved, thou runnest away.
The dog of that house shall move me to stand. I'll take the wall of any man or maid of monarchies.
That shows thee a weak slave, for the weakest goes to the wall.
True, but therefore, women being the weaker vessels are ever thrust to the wall. Therefore, I'll push monarchy's men from the wall and thrust his women to the wall.
The quarrel is between our masters and us their men.
'Tis all one. I will show myself a tyrant. When I have fought with the men, I'll be cruel with the maids. I'll cut off their heads.
The heads of the maids.
Aye, the heads of the maids, or their maiden heads, taken in what sense thou wilt.
They must take it in sense that feel it.
'Tis me they shall feel while I'm able to stand, and 'tis known I'm a pretty piece of flesh.
'Tis well thou art not a fish. If thou hadst been poor John. Draw thy tool. Here comes two of the house of Montagues.
My naked weapon is out. Quarrel, I'll back thee.
How? Turn thy back and run?
Fear me not.
No, Mary, I fear thee.
Let us take the law of our sides. Let them begin.
I shall frown at them as I pass by, and let them take it as they list.
Nay, as they dare. I'll bite my thumb at them, which is a disgrace if they bear it.
Do you bite your thumb at us, sir?
I do bite my thumb, sir.
Do you bite your thumb at us?
Is the law on our side, if I say I?
No.
No, sir, I do not bite my thumb at you, sir. But I bite my thumb, sir.
Do you quarrel, sir?
Quarrel, sir?
No, sir.
But if you do, sir, and for you, I serve as good a man as you.
No better.
Well, sir.
Say better. Here comes one of my master's kinsmen.
Better, sir.
You lie.
Draw if you be men. Gregory, remember thy swashing blow.
Harsh fools! Get up your swords, you know not what you do!
What, art thou drawn among these heartless hinds? Turn thee, Romeo, look upon thy death.
I do defeat the peace. Put up thy sword, man! Part of the men with me.
What, drawn and taught to speed? I hate you, I hate her. All Montagues and thee, have at thee, coward!
Montague has come and flourishes his blade in spite of me.
Oh, villain Capulet, open up, let me go.
Thou shalt not stir 1 foot to seek a foe.
Rebellious subjects, enemies to peace, profaners of this neighbor's stained steel, will they not hear? What ho, you men, you beasts! On pain of torture from those bloody hands, throw your mistempered weapons to the ground, and hear the sentence of your moved prince. 3 civil brawls, bred of an airy word from thee, old Capulet, and Montague, have thrice disturbed the quiet of our streets. If ever you disturb our streets again, your lives shall pay the forfeit of the peace. For this time, all the rest depart away. You, Capulet, shall go along with me, and Montague, come you this afternoon to know our farther pleasure in this case. Once more, on pain of death, I'll then depart.
Who sets this ancient quarrel new approach? Speak, nephew, were you by when it began?
Here were servants of your adversary, and yours close fighting ere I did approach. I drew to part them. In the instant came the fiery Tybalt with sword prepared, who as he whispered defiance to my ears, swung about his head, and cut the winds, who nothing hurt withal, hissed him in scorn. As we exchanged thrust and blow, came more and more, and fought on part and part, until the prince came, who parted either part.
Oh, where is Romeo? Saw you him today? Right glad I am he was not at this fray.
An hour before the worship sun peered forth the golden window of the east, in the grove of sycamore, so early walking did I see your son. I made toward him, but he was ware of me, and stole in the covert of the wood.
Many a morning had he there been seen, with tears augmenting the fresh morning's dew, adding clouds to more clouds with his deep sighs. But also soon as the all-cheering sun should in the farthest east begin to draw the shady curtain from Aurora's bed, away from the light-skilled home my heavy son, in private in his chamber pens himself, shuts up his windows, locks fair daylight out, and makes himself an artificial night. Black and portentous must his humor prove, unless good counsel may the cause remove.
My noble uncle, do you know the cause?
I neither know of it or have learned of him.
See where he comes. So please, you step aside. I'll know his grievance or be much denied.
I would thou wert so happy by thy stay here, true shrift.
Come, madam, let's away.
Good morning, cousin.
The day is so young.
But we struck now.
Indeed, sad hours seem long. Was that my father that went hence so fast?
It was. What sadness lengthens Romeo's hours?
Not having that which having may too short.
In love.
Out
Of love.
till her favor way and in love.
Alas, that love so gentle in his view should be so serious and rough and rude.
Alas, that love, whose view is muffled still, should with eyes see halfway to his will. Pour with love, oh rolling love, oh loving hate, oh anything of nothing first create, oh happy lightness, serious vanity, still waking sleep. That is not what is this love we arrive that feel no love in this. Dost thou not laugh? No, cousin, I don't weep. Good heart hath why? Thy good heart's oppression. What such is love's transgression? Love is the smoke, waves, the fumes of sighs. Being cursed, of fire, sparkling in lover's eyes. Being vexed, a sea, nourished with lover's tears. What is it else? A madness most discreet, a choking gall, a preserving sweet. Farewell, cousin.
Soft, I would really go along, but if you leave me so, you do me wrong.
But I have lost myself. I am not here. This is not Romeo. He's some other where.
Tell me in sadness who is that you love.
In sadness, cousin, I do love a woman.
I am so near when I supposed you loved.
A right fair markman. And she's fair I love.
A right fair mark for cause as soonest hit.
Well, in that hit you miss. She'll not be hit with Cupid's arrow. She hath Dian's wit. And in strong proof of chastity well armed. From love's weak, childish bow she lives unharmed. She'll not stay the siege of loving terms, nor abide the encounter of assailing eyes, nor ope her lap to saint-seducing gold.
Then she hath sworn that she will still live chaste.
She hath. And in that sparing make huge waste.
Be ruled by me. Forget to think of her.
Teach me how I should forget to think.
By giving liberty unto thine eyes, examine other beauties.
'Tis the way. A man that is stricken blind cannot forget the precious treasure of his eyesight lost. Farewell. Thou canst not teach me to forget.
Pay that doctrine or else die in debt.
But Montague is bound as well as I in penalty of life. It's not hard, I think, for men as old as we to keep the peace.
Of honorable reckoning are you both, and pity 'tis you lived at odds so long. But now, my lord, what say you to my suit?
But saying more what I have said before. My child is yet a stranger in the world. Let 2 more summers wither in their pride ere we shall think her ripe to be a bride.
Younger than she, our happy mother's maid.
And too soon marred are those so early made. The earth hath swallowed all my hopes, but she is the hopeful lady of my earth. But woo her, gentle Paris, get her heart. My will to her consent is but a part, and she agree. Within her scope of choice lies my consent and fair according voice. This night I hold an old accustomed feast, whereto I have invited many a guest, such as I love, and you among the store, one more, most welcome, makes my number more. At my poor house, look to behold this night earth-treading stars that make dark heaven light. Come revel at my house, hear all see, and like her most who merit most shall be. Come, go with me. Go, Sarah. Trudge about through fair Verona, find those persons out whose names are written there, and to them say, my house and welcome on their pleasure stay.
Find them out whose names are written here. It is written that the shoemaker should meddle with his yard, and the tailor with his last, the fisher with his pencil, and the painter with his nets. But I am sent to find those persons whose names are here writ, and can never find what names the writing person hath here writ. Oh, I must to the learned in good time.
Tut, man, one fire burns out, another's burning. One pain is lessened by another's anguish. Take some new infection to thy eye, and the rank poison of the old will die.
For your broken shin.
Why, Romeo, art thou mad?
Not mad, but bound more than a madman is. Shut up in prison, kept without my food, whipped and tormented, and Godden, good fellow.
Oh, God, you Godin. I pray, sir, can you read?
Aye, mine own fortune in my misery.
Perhaps you have learned it without book, but I pray, can you read anything you see?
Aye, if I know the letters and the language.
Oh, you speak honestly, rest you merry.
Stay, fellow, I can read. Signor Martino and his wife and daughters, County Anselmo and his beauteous sisters, Lady Widow of Vitruvio, Signor Placentio and his lovely nieces, Mercutio and his brother Valentine, my uncle Capulet, his wife and daughters, my fair niece Rosaline, Livia, Signor Valentio and his cousin Tybalt, Lucio and the lively Helena, a fair assembly. Whither should they come?
Up.
Whither?
To supper, to our house.
Whose house?
My master's.
Indeed, I should have asked you that before.
Now I'll tell you without asking. My master is the great rich Capulet, and if you be not of the house of Montagues, I pray, come and crush a cup of wine. Rest you merry.
At the same ancient feast of Capulet sups the fair Rosaline, whom thou so lovest, with all the admired beauties of Verona. Go thither, and with unattainted eye compare, face to some that I will show, and I will make thee think thy swan a crow.
All go along. No such sight to be shown, but to rejoice in splendor of my own.
Nurse, where's my daughter? Call her forth to me. Oh, by my maidenhood, I bade her come. What lamb? What ladybird? God forbid, where's that girl? What Juliet?
How now, who calls?
Your mother.
Madam, I am here. What is your will?
This is the matter. Nurse, give leave a while. We must talk in secret. Nurse, come back again. I have remembered me. Thou's hear our counsel. Thou knowest my daughter of a pretty age.
Aye, St. Lammas Eve at night shall be her birthday. She and Susan were of an age. Well, Susan is with God now. She was too good for me. But I always will remember, come Lammas Eve at night shall be your birthday. And 11 years since the earthquake when she was weaned, for then she could stand alone. Nay, by the rood, she could walk and waddle all about. Why, only the day before she fell and broke her brow. Then my husband, God bless his soul, when he were a merry man, took up the child. Yea, saith he, falls upon my face, thou wilt fall backwards when thou hast more wit. Wit thou not, Jules? And by my holiday, the pretty wretch gave up crying and said, I. And I live 1,000 years, I shall never forget it. Wilt thou not, Jules? And the pretty fool stinted and said, I.
Enough of this. I pray thee hold thy peace.
Yes, madam, but I cannot choose but laugh to think it gave up crying to say, I. Oh, for even then it had upon its brow a lump the size of a young cockerel stone. Oh, a parlous bump, and it cried bitterly. Yea, quoth my husband, fall'st upon thy face, thou wilt fall backwards when thou comest of age. Wilt thou not, Jules? And it stinted and said, I.
And stint thou too, I pray thee, say I.
Oh, peace, I have done. God take you to his grace. Thou wert the prettiest babe I e'er nursed. To think I should live to see thee wed, I have my wish.
Married, that is the very theme I came to talk of. Tell me, daughter Juliet, how stands your disposition to be married?
It is an honor I dream not of.
Honor? Were I not thine only nurse, I would say thou hast sucked wisdom from thy teeth.
Well, think of marriage now. Ladies younger than yourself here in Verona, ladies of esteem, are made already mothers. By my count, I was your mother much upon these years that you are now a maid. Thus then, in brief, the valiant Paris seeks you for his love.
A man, lady, my lady, such a man. Why, he's a man of wax.
Verona's summer hath not such a flower.
Nay, a flower. In faith, he's a very flower.
What say you? Can you love the gentleman? Tonight you shall behold him at our feast. Read over the volume of young Paris's face, and find delight writ there with beauty's pen. That man in many's eyes doth share the glory, that in gold clasps locks in the golden story. So shall you have all that he doth possess, in having him making yourself no less.
No less. More. Women grow bigger by men.
Speak briefly. Can you like of Paris's love?
All looked like, if looking like he moved, but no more deep lie and dark mine eyes than your consent gives strength to make it fly.
Madam, the guests are come, supper is served up. You called, my young lady asked for, the nurse cursed in the pantry, and everything in extremity.
We follow thee. Juliet?
What? Shall this speech be spoke for our excuse, or shall we on without apology?
Let them measure us by what they will. We'll measure them a measure and be gone.
Give me a torch. I am not for this ambling. Being but heavy, I will bear the light.
Nay, gentle Romeo, we must have you dance.
Not I. Believe me, you have dancing shoes with nimble soles. I have a soul of lead, so stake me to the ground. I cannot move.
You are a lover. Borrow Cupid's wings and soar with them above a common bound.
I am too sore and pierced with his shaft to soar with his light feathers. And so bound, I cannot bound a bridge above dull bow. And the love's heavy burden do I sink.
And to sink in it should you burn in love. Too great oppression for a tender thing.
Is love a tender thing? It is too rough, too rude, and too boisterous. And it pricks like thorns.
If love be rough with you, be rough with love. Prick love for pricking, and you beat love down. Give me a case to put my message in.
Oh.
Here the beetle brows shall blush for me.
Come, knock and enter, and no sooner in, but every man betake him to his lens.
Nay, I'll be a candle holder and look on. The game was ne'er so fair, and I am done. Tut!
Done's the mouse and the constable's own word. If thou art done, we'll draw thee from the mire of this Sir Reverend's love, whereas thou stickest up to thy ears. Come, we burn daylight home.
Nay, that's not so.
I mean, sir, in delay, we waste our lights in vain like lamps by day. Take our good meaning, for our judgment lies 5 times in that ere once in our 5 wits.
And we mean well in going to this mask, but 'tis no wit to go.
Why, they want to ask?
I dreamt a dream tonight.
And so did I.
Well, what was yours?
That dreamers often lie.
In bed asleep, while they do dream things true.
Well then, I see Queen Mab hath been with you. She's the fairy's midwife. She comes in shape no bigger than an agate stone on the forefinger of an alderman, drawn by a team of little atomies athwart men's noses as they lie asleep. Her wagon spokes made of long spinner's legs, the cover of the wings of grasshoppers, the collars of the moonshine's watery beams, and the traces of the smallest spider webs. In this state, she gallops night by night through lovers' brains, and then they dream of love, and o'er courtiers' knees who dream on curtsies straight, and o'er lawyers' fingers who straight on dream on fee. and ladies' lips, who strayed on kisses dream, which oft the angry mab with blisters plagues, because their breaths with sweetmeats tainted are. Sometimes she driveth over a soldier's neck, and then dreams he of cutting foreign throats, of breeches and moscatos, that anon jumps in his ear, and being thus frightened, he starts and wakes, swears a prayer or two, and sleeps again. This is that very mab. This is she that when maids lie on their back, crushes them and learns them first to bear, making them women of good carriage.
Peace, Mercutio, peace. Thou talks of nothing.
True, I do but talk of dreams, which are the children of an idle brain, begot of nothing but vain fantasy, as inconstant as the wind who woos.
This wind you talk of blows us from ourselves. Supper is done, and we shall come too late.
I fear too early, for my mind misgives some consequence. But he that hath the steerage of my course direct my sail on, lusty gentlemen.
Strike drum!
Tis gone? Tis gone. Well, you are welcome, gentlemen. Come, musicians, play. A hall, make room and foot it, girls. gently, gentle cousin. Let him alone. He bears him like a portly gentleman, and to say true, Verona brags of him to be a virtuous and well-governed youth. I would not for the wealth of all this town here in my house do him disparagement. Therefore be patient. Take no note of him.
I'll not endure him.
He shall be endured. What, Goodman boy? I say he shall go too. Am I the master here, or you go too? You'll not endure him. God shall mend my soul. You'll make a mutiny among my guests.
Why, Uncle, 'tis a shame.
Go too. You are a fussy boy. Is it so indeed? You must contrary me. Marry, 'tis time. Well said, my heart. You are a princox. Go. Be quiet, or more light, for shame won't make you quiet, huh? But heartily, my lads.
Patience perforce with willful choler meeting makes my flesh tremble at their different greetings. I will withdraw, but this intrusion now seeming sweet, so we hurt, you better go.
Come, let's away. It is sport is at its best. So I fear. The more is my unrest.
gentlemen, prepare not to be gone. We have a trifling foolish banquet toward. Is it even so? Well, then, I thank you both. I thank you, honest gentlemen. Good night. More torches here! Come then, let's to bed.
Come hither, nurse. What is yon gentleman?
That be the heir and son of old Tiberio.
What's he that follows there? That would not dance.
I know not.
Go ask his name. If he be married, my grave is like to be my wedding bed.
Oh, his name is Romeo, and Montague, the oldest son of your great enemy.
My only love, sprung from my only hate? Too early seen unknown and known too late. Prodigious birth of love, it seems to me that I must love a loathed enemy.
Juliet! Come, let's withdraw. The strangers are all gone.
Romeo! My cousin, Romeo!
He is wise, and on his life hath stolen him home to bed.
He came this way, he left the orchard wall.
Nay, I'll conjure too. Romeo! Humors! Madman! Passion! Lover! He heareth not, he stirreth not, he moveth not. The ape is dead. And I must conjure him! I conjure thee by Rosaline's bright eyes, by her high forehead and scarlet lip, her 5-foot quivering leg, and the domain that there adjacent lie, that in thy likeness thou appear to us!
And if he hears thee, thou shalt anger him. Come, he hath hidden himself among these trees to be consorted with the humorous night. Blind is his love, and best befits the dark.
If love be blind, love cannot hit the mark. Romeo! Good night! I'll to my truckle bed. This field bed is too cold a bed for me to sleep. Come, shall we go?
Go, then, for 'tis in vain to seek him here that means not to be found.
He jested scars that never felt a wound, but soft what light through yonder window breaks. It is the east, and Juliet is the sun. Arise, fair sun, and kill the envious moon, who is already sick and pale with grief that thou, her maid, art far more fair than she. Be not her maid, since she is envious. It is my lady. It is my love. Oh, that she knew she were. She speaks, yet she says nothing. Oh, what of that? Her eye discourses. I will answer it. I am too bold. 'Tis not to me she speaks. And see how she rests her hand upon that cheek. Oh, that I wore a glove upon that hand, that I might touch that cheek.
Me.
She speaks. Oh, speak again, bright angel, for thou art as glorious to this night, being o'er my head as the winged messenger of heaven.
Oh, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Deny thy father, and refuse thy name. For, if thou wilt not, thee hast sworn my love, and I will no longer be a Capulet.
Shall I hear more, or shall I speak at this?
'Tis but thy name that is my enemy. Thou art thyself, though not a Montague. What's Montague? It is nor hand, nor foot, nor arm, nor face, nor any other part belonging to a man. Oh, be some other name. What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So Romeo would, were he not Romeo called, retain that dear perfection which he owes without that title. Oh, Romeo, doff thy name, and with that name, which is no part of thee, take all myself.
I'll take thee at thy word. Call me but love, and I'll be new baptized. Henceforth I never will be Romeo.
What man art thou? Thus be screened at night, so stumblest on my counsel?
By a name I know not how to tell thee who I am. My name, dear saint, is hateful to myself because it is an enemy to thee. Had I it written, I would tear the word.
My ears have not yet drunk 100 words of that tongue's utterance, yet I know the sound. Art thou not Romeo? And a Montague?
Neither, fair saint, if either thee dislike.
How camest thou hither? Tell me, and wherefore the orchard walls are high and hard to climb, and the place death, considering who thou art?
With love's light wings did I approach these walls? The stony limits cannot hold love out, and what love can do, well, that dares love attempt. Therefore, thy kinsmen are no let to me.
If they do see thee, they will murder thee.
I have night's cloak to hide me from their sight, and but thou love me, let them find me here. My life were better ended by their hate than death prorogued wanting of thy love.
By whose direction foundest thou out this place?
By love, that first did prompt me to inquire. He lent me counsel, and I lent him eyes.
Thou knowest the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden's blush bepaint my cheeks for that which thou hast heard me speak tonight. Fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke, but farewell compliment. Gentle Romeo, dost thou love? Pronounce faithfully, or if thou thinkest I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo. Else, not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behavior light. But I'll prove more true than those with more cunning to be strange.
Lady, by yonder blessed moon, I swear.
Swear not by the moon, the inconstant moon, that monthly changes in her circled orb, lest that thy love prove likewise variable.
What shall I swear by, if my heart's dear
Do
love...
not swear. Although I joy in thee, I have no joy of this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden, too like the lightning which doth cease to be, and one can say it lightens. Sweet, good night. This bud of love, my summer's ripening breath, may prove a beauteous flower when next we meet. Good night, good night.
Wilt thou leave me so unsatisfied?
What satisfaction canst thou have tonight?
The exchange of thy faithful vow for mine.
I gave it thee before thou did request it. And would it were to give again?
Wouldst thou withdraw it? For what purpose, love?
But to be frank, and give it thee again. In truth, I wish for but the one thing I have. My bounty is as boundless as the sea. My love as deep. The more I give to thee, the more I have. Her both are infinite. I hear a noise within. Dear loved Jew.
Madam!
Sweet Montague, be true. Stay but a little. I will come again.
Oh, blessed, blessed night! I am afeard being in night, all this is but a dream!
3 words, dear Romeo, and good night indeed. If thy bent of love be honorable, thy purpose marriage, send me word tomorrow by one that I'll procure, where and what time thou wilt perform the rite. And all my fortune at thy feet I'll lay, and follow thee, my lord, throughout the world.
Madam!
I come anon. But if thou meanest not well, I do beseech thee.
Madam!
By and by I come to seize thy suit and lead me to my grief.
So thrive my soul!
1,000 times good night.
1,000 times the worse to want thy light! Love goes towards love like schoolboys from their books. But love from love towards school with heavy looks.
Psst. Romeo,
My dear,
At what o'clock tomorrow shall I send to thee?
at the hour of 9.
I will not fail. 'Tis 20 years till then. I did forget why I did call thee back.
Let me stand here till thou remember it.
I would still forget to have thee still stand, remembering how I love thy company.
All still stand to have thee still forget, forgetting any other home but this.
'Tis almost morn. I would have thee gone. Good night. Good night. Parting is such sweet sorrow, that I shall say good night till it be morrow.
Sleep, dwell upon thine eye, peace in thy breast. Would I were sleep and peace so sweet to rest. Hence I will to my ghostly father's cell his help to crave, and my dear have to tell.
The gray-eyed morn smiles on the frowning night, checkering the eastern clouds with streaks of light. Mickle is the powerful grace that lies in plants, herbs, stones, and their true qualities. Within the infant rind of this small flower, poison hath residence and medicine power, wherein being smelt with that part cheers each part, being tasted slays all senses with the heart.
Good morrow, father!
What earthly tongue so sweet saluteth thee? Young son, it argues a distempered head, so soon to bid good morrow to thy bed. Or, if not so, then here I hit it right. Our Romeo hath not been in bed tonight.
That last is true. The sweeter rest was mine.
God pardon sin. Was thou with Rosaline?
With Rosaline? My ghostly father, no. You've forgotten that name, and that name's woe.
That's my good son, but where hast thou been then?
I have been feasting with mine enemy, where on a sudden one hath wounded me, but by me wounded. Within our help and holy physics lie. I bear no hatred, blessed man, for lo, my intercession likewise steads my foe.
Be plain, good son, and homely in thy drift. Riddling confession finds but riddling shrift.
Then plainly know my dear love is set on the fair daughter of rich Capulet. We met, we wooed, and made exchange of vow. I'll tell thee as we pass, but this I pray, that thou consent to marry us today.
Holy Saint Francis, what a change is here! Is Rosaline that thou didst love so dear, so soon forsaken? Young men's hearts lies not truly in their hearts, but in their eyes.
Thou chidest me off for loving Rosaline.
For doting, not for loving, pupil mine.
And bates me bury love.
Not in a grave to lay one in, another out to have.
I pray thee, chide not. She whom I love now doth grace for grace and love for love allow. The other did not so.
She well knew. But come, young waverer, come and go with me. In one respect I'll thy assistant be. For this alliance may so happy prove to turn your household's rancor to pure love.
Let us hence. I stand on sudden haste.
Wisely and slow, they stumble that run fast.
That Romeo. Came he not home tonight?
Not to his fathers, when I spoke of his man.
Oh, that same pale-hearted wench, that Rosaline.
Romance is so we will show them that. Tybalt, the kinsman old captain, had sent a letter to his father's house.
On my life.
Romeo will answer.
Alas, poor Romeo, already dead. Shot with the white wench's black eye. Stabbed through the ear with a love song, the very pit of his heart. Cleft with the blind bow of his butt shaft. Is he a man to encounter Tybalt?
Why, what's Tybalt?
More than king of cats, I can tell you. Why, the courageous captain of compliments. Fights his music, tricks on peacetime. Distance, proportion, rest his minimum rest. 1, 2, 3, the very pleasure of the silver one. The duelist, the immortal Posado, the punto reverso, the head!
Oh, here comes Romeo, here comes Romeo.
Oh, Signor Romeo, you gave us the counterfeit fairly last night.
Well, good morrow to you both. What counterfeit did I give you?
The slip, sir, the slip. Can you not conceive?
Pardon, good Mercutio. My business was great. And in such a case as mine, a man may stray in courtesy.
Nay, I am the very king of courtesy.
Into a flower.
Right.
Well then, is my plump well flowered?
God ye good morrow, gentlemen.
Oh, God ye good den, fair gentlewoman.
Is good den?
'Tis no less, for the body hand of the dial is upon the prick of noon.
Get out with you. What a man you are.
One gentlewoman that God hath made for himself to mar.
By my troth, it is well said. For himself to mar, quotha. Gentlemen, can any of you help me find the young Romeo?
I can help you, but young Romeo will be older when you have found him than he was when you had sought him. I am the youngest of that name, for fault of a worse.
Oh, well said.
Yea, is the worst well? Took in faith, wise.
Truly, if you be he, sir, I desire a confidence of you.
She will indict him to some supper.
Upon!
Oh, what hast thou found?
Romeo, will you to your father's with the dinner thither?
I will follow you.
Well, farewell, ancient lady. Farewell.
Oh, Mary, farewell, ancient. Oh, and who's that saucy merchant so full of ropery?
A gentleman, good nurse, that loves to hear himself talk, and will speak more in a minute than he will stand to in a month.
And he speak against me, I will take him down. And I were lustier than him, and 20 such jacks. And if I cannot do it, I shall find some who can. Scurvy knaves. I am none of his skinflint, I am none of his flirt mates, and now must stand there and watch me be used by every knave for his pleasure.
I saw no man use you at his pleasure. If I had, my weapon should quickly have been out, I warn you. I dare draw as soon as another man, if I see occasion in a good quarrel, and the law on my side.
By God, I am so vexed, every part about me quivers. Scurvy knees! A word, sir. And, as I may have told you, my young lady did bid me inquire you out. What she bade me say, I shall keep to myself. But let me tell you this. If you think to lead her into fool's paradise, well, that were very gross behavior. For the young lady is a gentlewoman and young, and if you think to offer her double cross, well, that would be an ill thing to offer a young gentlewoman, and very gross behavior.
Nurse, commend me to thy lady, I protest unto thee.
I will tell my lady you do protest, which I take to be a gentlemanly offer.
Bid her devise some means to come to Shrift this afternoon. There, at Friar Lawrence's cell, she shall be shrived and married. Here is for thy pains.
Oh, no, sir, not a penny.
Go to, I say you shall.
This afternoon, she shall be here.
Commend me to thy lady.
1,000 times. 1,000 times. Peter! Oh, take my fan and go ahead.
The clock struck 9 when I did send thee, nurse. In half an hour she promised to return. Perchance she cannot meet him. And now the
My head comes as like to fall into 20 pieces. And my back, oh, my back. Oh, to other side, my back.
And babe, I am sorry that thou art not well. Sweet, sweet, sweet nurse. What says my love?
Your love says, like an honorable gentleman, and a kind, and a courteous, and I dare say a virtuous. Oh, where's your mother?
Where's my mother? Why, she is within. Where should she be? How oddly thou repliest. Your love says, like an honest gentleman, where is your mother?
Well, God's lady, are you so hot? Here forward, do your messages yourself.
Here's such a quail. Come, what says my Romeo?
Have you leave to go to shrift today?
I have.
Then, hie you to Lauren's chamber. There waits a husband to make you a wife. Go out to dinner. Hie you to the chamber.
Hie to high fortune, honest nurse, farewell.
So smiles the heaven upon this holy act, which after hours with sorrow chide us not.
Amen, amen. But come what sorrow can, it cannot countervail the exchange of joy that one short minute gives me in her sight. Do thou but close our hands with holy words, then love devouring death, do what ye dare. It is enough I may but call her mine.
These violent delights have but violent ends, and in their triumphs die like fire and powder, which as they kiss consume. The sweetest honey is loathsome in his own deliciousness. Therefore love moderately, long love doth so. Too swift arrives as tardy as too slow. Oh, here comes thy lady, who so light a foot will ne'er wear out the everlasting flint.
Good evening to my ghostly confessor.
Romeo will thank thee, daughter, for us both.
As much to him, else is his thanks too much.
All right, come with me. We will make short work, for by your leave, you shall not stay alone until Holy Church incorporate two in one.
I praise thee, good Mercutio. Let us retire today is hot, the capital is abroad, and if you eat, we shall not sleep abroad. For in these hot days is the matter unstirred.
Thou art like a fellow that when he enters the confines of a tavern, claps me a sword upon the table, and says, God send me no need of thee. And when by the operation of the second cup, draws him on the drawer when indeed there is no need.
I'm like such a fellow.
Thou art as hot in who does it again in Italy? To move, to be moving, to moody, to be moved. Your head is full of quarrels as an egg is full of meat. Thou hast been beat as addles an egg about the head for quarreling. Dost thou remember when thou fell out with thy good tailor wearing a doublet before Easter? Or with another tying his old shoes with a new ribbon? Now the tutor and me for quarreling.
By my head, here come the captains.
Not follow me close. Speak to one of them. Gentlemen, good den. A word with one of you?
Aye, but a word with one of us? Why not couple it with something? Make it a word and a blow.
You shall find me apt enough to that, sir, and you will give me occasion.
Canst thou not take some occasion without giving?
Mercutio, thou consortest with Romeo.
Oh, consort! Thou shalt make minstrels of us! Zounds, consort! Thou look to make minstrels of us, thou wilt hear nothing but discords. Here's my fiddlestick, here's that shall make you dance. Consort.
We speak here in a public haunt of men. Either withdraw into some private place and reason coldly of your grievances, or else depart. Here all eyes gaze on us.
Men's eyes were made to look, and let them gaze. I budge for no man's pleasure, I.
Peace be with you, sir. Here comes my man.
I'll be hanged if he wears your livery.
Romeo! The love I bear thee can afford no better term than this. Thou art a villain.
Tybalt, the reason that I have to love thee doth much excuse the appertaining rage to such a greeting. Villain am I none. Therefore farewell. I see thou knowst me not.
Boy! This shall not excuse the injury that thou hast done me. Therefore turn and draw.
Do protest, I never injured thee, but love thee better than thou canst devise, till thou shalt know the reason of my love. So, good Capulet, which name I tender is dearly as my own, be satisfied.
Oh! Oh! Come, vile, dishonorable!
Tybalt, you rat catcher. Will you walk?
What wouldst thou have with me?
Good king of cats, not but one of your 9 lives.
I am for you.
Gentle Mercutio, put thy rapier up.
Ha. Come, sir. You're Passato.
Benvolio, draw thy sword, beat down their weapons. Gentlemen, for shame! Forbear this outrage! The prince hath expressly forbid disbanding him on the streets! Hold, Tybalt! Good Mercutio!
Is he gone and hath nothing?
What? Art thou hurt?
I scratched, but Mary, 'tis enough to serve. Where is my cage? Go, villain! Fetch a surgeon!
Courage, man, the hurt cannot be much.
It's not as wide as a church door, or as deep as a well, but 'tis enough. 'Twill serve. You ask for me tomorrow, you shall find me a grave man. Why came you between us? I was hurt under your arm.
I thought all for the best.
Take me into some hospital, Leo, I might be. A plague on both your houses! They've made worms meat of me. Your houses!
On my behalf, reputation stained with Tybalt's hand. Tybalt that an hour hath been my kinsman. So sweet Juliet, thy beauty hath made me effeminate, and in thy temper softened battle steel.
Romeo! Great Mercutio's dead. The gallant spirit that aspired the clouds, which too untitled here did scorn the earth.
This day's black fate on more days doth depend. This fight begins the world where others must end.
Here comes the furious Tybalt back again.
Alive in triumph, and Mercutio slain. Away to heaven, respectful lenity, and let fire-eyed fury be my conduct now. Now, Tybalt, take the villain back again that late thou gavest me. For Mercutio's soul is but a little ways above our heads, staying for thine to keep him company. Either thou, or I, or both must go with him.
Wretched boy, thou didst consort with him, here shall with him hence.
This shall determine that.
gone away. The citizens are up and Tybalt slain. Stand not there amazed, the prince will doom thee death if thou art taken hence. Be gone away.
Oh, I am fortune fool.
Why dost thou stay?
Which way ran he that killed Mercutio? Tybalt, that murderer, which way ran he?
There lies the Tybalt.
Up, sir, go with me. I charge thee that this man obey.
Where are the vile beginners of this fray? Benvolio, who began this bloody fray.
Tybalt, slain. By Romeo's hand did slay. Romeo that spoke him fair, bade him bethink how nice the squirrel was, and urged, with all your high displeasure, could not take umbrage with. Vile spleen of Tybalt deaf to peace, then he tilts with piercing steel at bold Mercutio's breast, who all is hot, turns deadly point to point, and with a martial scorn beats cold death aside, and with the other sends it back to Tybalt, whose dexterity retorts it. Romeo, he cries aloud, hold friends part, and swifter than his tongue his agile arm beats down their fatal points, and twixt them rushes, underneath whose arm an envious thrust from Tybalt hit the life of stout Mercutio, and then Tybalt fled. But by and by comes back to Romeo, who had but newly entertained revenge, and to it they go like lightning, for ere I could try to part them, was stout Tybalt slain, and as he fell did Romeo turn and fly. This is the truth, or let Benvolio die.
He is kin to the Montague. Affections make him false. He speaks not true. Some 20 of them fought in this black strife, and of all those 20 we could kill one life. I beg for justice, which thou prince must give. Romeo slew Tybalt. Romeo must not live.
Romeo slew him, he slew Mercutio, who now the price of his dear blood doth owe.
Not Romeo, Prince. He was Mercutio's friend. His fault concludes but with the law should end. The life of Tybalt.
And for that offense, immediately you exile him hence. I have an interest in your hence proceeding. My blood for your rude rolls doth lie bleeding. But I'll immerse you in so strong fine that you shall all repent this loss of mine. I will be deaf to pleading and excuses. Nor prayers nor tears shall purchase out of uses. Therefore, use none. Let Romeo hence in haste. Else when he is found, that hour is his last. Calipace, you party for the sea, and bring in cloud away immediately. Come, small night, how summer to be gentle and black, and learn we have blue the wing match paper fair feeds maidenhood. Come, gentle night, come, loving, black, proud night, and give me my Romeo. And when I should die, take him and cut him out
is banished.
Has Romeo's hand shed Tybalt's blood?
I lack the day it did. It did.
Oh, serpent, hid with the flowering face. Oh, beautiful tyrant, fiend, angelical. Despise its substance of divinest show with just opposite with just thou justly seemst. Was ever a book containing such vile matter so fairly bound?
There's no faith, no honesty, no justice in men, all perjure. And these sorrows, these ills, they make me feel old. Shame come to Romeo.
Blistered be thy tongue for such a wish. Romeo was not born to shame. Upon his brow, shame is ashamed to sit. What a beast I was to chide at him.
Will you speak well of he who killed your cousin?
Shall I speak ill of him that is my husband? Oh, what tongue shall smooth thy name when I, thy 3 hours wife, had mangled it? Wherefore, villain, didst thou kill my cousin? That villain cousin that would have killed my husband. Back, foolish tears, back to your native springs. Your tributary drops belong to woe, which you, mistaken, offer up to joy. Romeo lives, that Tybalt would have slain. Tybalt is dead, that would have slain my husband. All this is comfort. Wherefore weep I then? Is Tybalt dead? And Romeo banished? Not banished. That one word, banished, to speak that word is father, mother, Tybalt, Romeo, Juliet, all slain, all dead. Romeo is banished. There is no end, no limit, measured bound. In that word's death, no word can woe sound. Where is my father and my mother, nurse?
Weeping and wailing over Tybalt's corse. Will you go to them? I'll take you thither.
Wash they his wounds with tears. Your mind shall be spent when theirs are dry for Romeo's banishment. Come, nurse. I'll to my wedding bed, and death, not Romeo, shall take my maidenhead.
Nay, oh nay. Hie you to your bedchamber. I'll find Romeo to comfort you. I wot well where he is. Hark, Romeo will be here by night. I'll to him. He is hid at Lawrence's cell.
Oh, find him. Oh, and give this ring to my true knight, and bid him come take his last farewell.
Romeo, come forth, thou fearful man. Affliction is enamored of thy parts, and thou art wedded to calamity.
Oh, banishment, be merciful, say death. For exile hath more terror in his look, much more than death. Do not say banishment.
Hence from Verona art thou banished. Be patient, for the world is broad and wide.
There is no world without Verona's walls, but purgatory, torture, hell itself. Hence banished is banished from the world, and world's exile is death. Then banished is death mistermed. Calling death banishment, thou cuts my head off with a golden axe and smilest upon the stroke that murders me.
Deadly sin, oh rude unthankfulness, thy fault our law calls death, but the kind prince, taking thy part, hath brushed aside the law and turned that blackward death to banishment. This is dear mercy, and thou seest it not.
'Tis torture and not mercy. Heaven is here where Juliet lives, and every cat and a dog and little mouse, every unworthy thing live here in heaven and may look on her. But Romeo may not. He is banished. Sayest thou yet that exile is not dead? To mingle me with that word, banished.
Thou fond madman, hear me speak a little.
Thou must speak again, banishment.
I will give thee armor to keep thee off that word, adversity's sweet milk of philosophy, to comfort thee though thou art banished.
Yet banished, Hang up philosophy, unless philosophy can make a Juliet to displant a town, reverse a prince's doom. It helps not, it prevails not. Talk no more.
Then I see that madmen have no ears.
How should they, when that wise men have no eyes?
Let me dispute with thee of thy estate.
Thou canst not speak of what thou dost not feel. What thou as young as I, Juliet, I love, and now but married, till I'm murdered. Don't be like me, like me. Then why did thou speak? Then why did not dare I, and all the wonder that I am now, take you measure of
Arise, Romeo, hark, are they not? Who's there? By and by, run to my study. Who's there? I come. Oh, God's will, what sinfulness is this? Whence come? What's your will?
Let me in, and you shall know my business. I come from Lady Juliet.
Welcome, then.
Oh, Holy Father. Oh, tell me, Holy Father, where's my lady's lord? Where's Romeo?
There on the ground, being drunk by his own tears.
And he is in my lady's own case, just in her case.
And nurse.
Ah, sir, death's the end of all.
Spakest thou of Juliet? How is it with her? Does she not think me an old murderer? Where is she? And how doth she? And what says my concealed lady to our cancelled love?
She says nothing, but weeps and weeps and throws herself down on her bed, then cries upon Romeo more, then back down upon the bed.
As if that name, shot from the deadly level of a gun, did murder her. Has that name's cursed hand murdered her kinsman? Tell me, friar, tell me, in what vile part of that anatomy doth my name lodge? Tell me that I might sack the hateful mansion.
Hold thy desperate hand! Art thou a man? Thy form cries out thou art. Thou hast amazed me by my holy order. Hast thou slain Tybalt? Wilt thou slay thyself and slay thy lady too by doing damned hate against thyself? What roused thee, man? Juliet is alive. There art thou happy. The law that threatened death becomes thy friend and turns it to exile. There art thou happy too. Tybalt would kill thee, but thou slewest Tybalt. There art thou happy. A pack of blessings lights upon thy back. And like a mistempered and then sullen wench, thou pout'st upon thy fortune and thy love. Take heed. Take heed, for such die miserable. Go, get thee to thy lady as was decreed. Ascend the chamber and comfort her. But look, thou canst not stay until the watch is set, for then thou canst not pass to Mantua, where thou wilt live until we can find such a time to blaze your marriage, reconcile your friends, beg pardon of the prince, and call thee back with 20,000 times more joy than thou left with in lamentation. Go before, nurse, commend me to thy lady. Romeo is coming.
Oh, I could sit here all night to hear good counsel. What wisdom is. Here, sir, a ring my lady bid me give thee. Make haste, the hour grows late.
How well my comfort is revived by this.
Go hence. Good night. Sojourn in Mantua, I'll seek out thy man who shall signify to thee from time to time every good hap that chances to you here. Give me thy hand, 'tis late. Farewell. Good night.
But 'tis a joy past joy calls out on thee. It were a grief so brief to part with thee. Farewell.
Things have fallen out, sir, so unluckily that we have had no time to move our daughter. 'Tis very late, she'll not come down tonight.
These times of woe afford no tune to woo. Madam, good night. Commend me to your daughter.
I will. And know her mind early tomorrow. Tonight she's mewed up to her heaven.
Sir Paris, I will make a desperate tender of my child's love. I believe she will be ruled in all respects by me, nay more I doubt it. Wife, go you to her ere you go to bed. Acquaint her here of my son Paris' love, and bid her mark to me on Wednesday next. What day is it?
Monday, my lord.
Monday. Oh, well, Wednesday is too soon. A Thursday, let it be. A Thursday, tell her she shall be married to this noble earl. What say you? When you feel ready, do you like this haste? What day is a Thursday, huh?
I would that Thursday were tomorrow.
Well, get you gone. A Thursday be it then. Wife, go you to her, you go to bed, prepare her against this wedding day. Good night, my lord. Light to my chamber. Oh, before me. It is so very, very late that we may call it early by and by. Oh, good night.
Was the lark, the herald of the morn, no nightingale? Look, what envious streaks do lace the severing clouds in yonder east. Night's candles are burnt out, and jocund day stands tiptoe on the misty mountaintops. I must be gone and live, or stay and die.
Yon light is not daylight. I know it, It is a meteor that the sun exhales to be to thee this night, a torchbearer to light thee on the way to Mantua. Therefore stay yet. Thou needst not be gone.
Let me be ta'en. Let me be put to death. I am content, so thou wilt have it so. I'll say yon gray is not the morning's eye. It is the pale reflex of Cynthia's brow. And that is not the light whose notes do beat below the heavens so high above our heads. Have more care to stay than will to go. Come, death and welcome. Juliet wills it so. How is my soul? Let's talk. It is not day.
Oh, it is. I had been gone away. It was the lark that seemed so out of tune. Strange, harsh discourse and unpleasing heart. Sympathy, what are you speaking? But it is Tom not so. Who she that I love. Be gone. With your light and light it grows.
When light, when dark our woes.
Madam, your mother comes to your bedchambers. Day has broke. Be wary. Look about.
And window, let day in and let life out.
Farewell. Farewell. One kiss and I'll descend.
Art thou gone so? My lord, my love, my friend. I must hear from thee every day in the hour, for in a minute there are many days. By this count, I shall be much nearer so I again behold my Romeo.
Farewell. I will omit no opportunity that may convey my greetings, love, to thee.
Thinkest thou we shall ever meet again?
I doubt it not. And all these woes shall serve as sweet discourses in our time to come.
God, methinks I have an ill-divining soul. I see thee, thou art undone, as one dead in the belly of a tomb. Either my eyesight fails or thou lookst pale.
I trust me, love, in my eyes so do you. Dry sorrow drinks our blood. Adieu. Adieu.
Oh, fortune, fortune, all men call thee fickle. If thou art fickle, I hope thou do not keep him long, but send him back.
Oh, daughtery love.
Who is it that calls? Is it my lady mother? Is she not down so late or up so early? What unaccustomed cause procures her hither?
What? How now, Juliet?
Madam, I am not well.
Evermore weeping for your cousin's death? What wilt thou wash him from his grave with tears? And if thou couldst not make him live. Therefore have done. Some grief shows much love, but much of grief shows still some want of wit.
Yet, let me weep for such a feeling loss.
Well, girl, thou weepest not so much for his death, that the villain lives which slaughtered him.
What villain, madam?
That same villain Romeo.
Villain and he be many miles asunder. God pardon him. I do with all my heart. Yet, none but he doth grieve my heart.
That is because the traitor murderer lives.
Aye, madam. From the reach of these my hands would none but I might venge my cousin's death.
We will have vengeance for it, fear thou not. He shall soon keep Tybalt company, and then I hope thou wilt be satisfied.
Indeed, I never shall be satisfied with Romeo until I behold him dead as one.
Well, let me tell thee now, joyful tidings, girl.
Joyful times, what news is this? I beseech your ladyship.
Well, thou hast a careful father, one who to put thee from thy heaviness has sorted out a sudden day of joy that thou expectest not, and I looked not for.
In happy days, what news is this?
Marry, my child. Early next Thursday morn, the gallant young and noble gentleman, the county Paris, at St. Peter's Church will happily make thee there a joyful bride.
By St. Peter's Church, and Peter too, he shall not make me there a joyful bride. I pray you, tell my lord and father that I shall not marry. And when I do, it will be Romeo, whom you know I hate, rather than Paris. These are news indeed.
Well, here comes your father. Tell him so yourself. See what will take it in your hands.
Now, a conduit girl, what's still in tears, evermore showering o'er young Tybalt's grave. Now, wife, have you delivered to her our decree?
Aye, sir, but she will none. She gives you thanks. I wish the fool were married to her grave.
Soft, take me with you, wife. How will she not? Does she not give us thanks? Is she not proud? Does she not count her blessed, unworthy as she is, that we have brought so worthy a gentleman to be her bridegroom?
Not proud you have, but thankful that you have. Proud I cannot be of what I hate.
How now, chop logic, what is this? Proud and I thank you, and I thank you not, and yet not proud. Mistress Minion, you, thank me no thanking, nor proud me no prouds. But fettle your fine joints since Thursday next to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I shall drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out, you green sickness carrying out, you baggage, you taliphane.
Fie, what are you mad?
Why?
Oh, good father, I beseech you, down on my knees. Hear me with patience, but to speak a word.
Hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wretch. I tell thee what, get thee to church at Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch. God. Wife, we scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child. But now I see this one is one too much, and we have a curse in having her.
Oh, God in heaven save her! You are to blame, my lord, to rate her so.
And why, my lady Wisdom? Hold your tongue, good Prudence. Smatter with your gossips. Go.
I speak no treason.
Go, good den.
May one not speak.
Peace, you mumbling fool.
You are too hot.
Really makes me mad. Day, night, hour, time, tide, work, play, alone in company, still my care has been to see her matched. And having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair domains, youthful, nobly trained, and then to have a wretched puling fool, a whining mammet, in her fortunes tender to answer, oh, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you pardon me. But an you will not wed, oh, pardon you! Grave where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on it, I do not use to jest. Thursday is near, lay hand on heart, advise, and you be mine, I'll give you to my friend, and you be not, hang, beg, starve, die in the streets, for by my soul I'll ne'er acknowledge thee, nor what is mine shall never do thee good. Trust to it. Bethink you, I'll not be forsworn.
Oh, sweet my lady mother, cast me not aside. Delay this marriage for a month, a week, or, if thou do not, make my bridal bed in that dim monument where Tybalt lies.
Talk not to me, for I'll not speak a word. Do as thou wilt, I have done with thee.
Oh, God. Oh, nurse. How shall this be prevented? My husband is on earth. My faith in heaven. How shall my faith again return to earth? If not from my husband, sent it to me from heaven by leaving earth. Comfort me. Counsel me. Speakest thou not a word of joy? Some comfort.
Faith, here 'tis then. Romeo is banished, and all the world is gone. I think it best if you marry the County Paris. Oh, he's a fine man. And I think you happier in this second match than you were in your first, for your first is dead. Or as well be with you living here and no use of him.
Speakest thou from the heart?
And my soul, or beshrew them both.
Amen.
What?
Well, thou hast comforted me marvelous much. Tell my lady mother that I have gone, having displeased my lord, to Lawrence's cell, to make confession and to be absolved.
Oh, I will, and it is wisely done.
Ancient damnation, O most wicked fiend, is it more sin to wish me thus forsworn, or to dispraise my lord by that same tongue which hath praised him above compare so many thousand times? Go, counselor. I'll to the friar to know his remedy. If all else fails, myself have power to die.
Thursday, sir. The time is very short.
My father Capulet will have it so, and I'm nothing slow to slack his haste.
You say you do not know the lady's mind. Uneven is this course. I like it not.
Moderately she weeps for Tybalt's death. Now, sir, her father counts it dangerous that she do give her sorrow too much sway, and, in his wisdom, hastes our marriage to stop the inundation of her tears.
Look, sir, here comes a lady to my cell.
Happily met, my lady and my wife.
That may be, when I may be a wife.
That maybe must be on Thursday next.
What must be, shall be.
There's a certain text.
Come you to make confession to this friar?
To answer that, I should confess to you.
Do not deny to him you love me.
I shall confess that I love him.
So will ye, I am sure, that you love me.
Are you at your leisure, Holy Father, now? Or shall I come again at evening mass?
My leisure, pensive daughter, serves me now. Sir, we must entreat the time alone.
God shield that I should disturb devotion. Juliet, on Thursday early I will rouse you. Until then, adieu, and keep this holy kiss.
Oh, shut the door, and when thou hast done so, come weep with me. Past hope, past cure, past help.
Oh, Juliet, I already know thy mind. It strains me past the comfort of my wits.
Tell me not that thou hast heard of this. I long to die, if what thou speaks not of remedy.
Oh, daughter, I do spy a kind of hope. If thou hast the strength of will to slay thyself rather than to marry the County Paris, then it is likely that thou wilt undertake a thing like death, to chide away the shame. And if thou darest, I'll give thee remedy.
I shall take it without fear or doubt.
Hold then. Go home. Be happy. Give consent to marry Paris. Wednesday is tomorrow. Take thou this vial. Here. When presently, through all thy veins shall run a cold and drowsy humor. Then, when the bridegroom comes in the morning to rouse thee, there art thou dead. Well, They will bear you on the bier, hence, to the Capel's monument. And then in 42 hours thou shalt wake as from a pleasant sleep. Meantime, I will write to Romeo that he shall know our drift.
Give me.
Hold, daughter. Be prosperous.
Love, give me strength. Farewell, father!
So many guests invited are here rich. We shall be much unfurnished for this time. What, is my daughter going to Friar Lawrence? Nurse!
Aye.
Ah, give me a chance to do some good on her. Peevish, self-willed harlotry it is. Ah.
And here she comes, from shrift with merry look.
How now, my headstrong? Where have you been getting?
Where I have learned to repent me the sin of disobedient opposition to you and your behest, and am joined by Father Lawrence to fall prostrate here and beg your pardon. I beseech you. Henceforward, I am ever ruled by you.
Aha! Send for the county. Go tell him this. We'll have this knot knit up tomorrow morning.
Nurse, will you go with me to my closet to help me sort such ornaments as you find fit to furnish me tomorrow?
No, not till Thursday.
Go, nurse. Go with her. We'll to church tomorrow.
But we will be short provisions, 'tis now near night.
Hush, I will stir about, and all things will be well. I warrant thee, wife. What? You go to Juliet. Don't sit down with her. I'll not do it tonight. What? Let me alone. I'll play the housewife for this once, you know.
My nurse, those attires are best. But I pray thee, leave me to myself tonight, for I have need of many horizons to help the heavens to smile upon my state, which thou knowest is cross and full of sin.
Need you my help?
No, madam. We have cultures necessary as are behooveful for our state tomorrow. I pray thee, let me be left alone.
Good night. Get thee to bed and rest, for thou hast need.
Farewell. God knows when we shall meet again. My dismal scene I needs must act alone. Come, Bile. What if this mixture do not work? Shall I be married then? Tomorrow morning? No. No. This shall prevent it. Lie thou there. I will not entertain so bad a thought. How if, when I am laid into the tomb, I wake before the time that Romeo come to redeem me? Now there's a fearful point. Shall I not then be stifled into the vault, whose foul mouth no wholesome air breathes in, and die there strangled ere my Romeo comes? Or if I wake, is it not so much like the very conceit of life and death, together with the terrors of that place? Or if I wake, shall I not be then distraught, environed with all the hideous fears, and madly play with my forefathers' joints and pluck the mangled Tybalt from his shroud, and in this rage, with my forefathers' bones as with a club, dash out my desperate brains? Methinks I see my cousin's ghost, seeking Romeo, who did spit him upon his rapier's point. Stay, Tybalt, stay. Romeo, I come. This I drink to thee.
dear, I must needs wake you up. Lady? 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 Alas! My lady's dead! Help! Help! Oh, woe the day whenever I was born! My lord! My lady!
What noise is this?
Oh, lamentable day!
What is the matter?
Look! Oh, doctor!
Oh, me, my child. My only life revived. Look, but surely I will die with thee. Call him!
For shame, bring Juliet forth. Our Lord is come.
No, she's dead. She's deceased. She's dead.
That's the day she's dead. She's dead.
Let me see her.
She's dead!
Oh, out on us. She's cold. Her blood has settled. Her joints are stiff. Life and these lips have long been separated. Death lies on her like an untimely frost upon the sweetest of flower of all the field. Perfect time. Unfortunate.
Oh, lamentable day!
God that hath ta'en her hence to make me wail.
Come, is the bride ready to go to church?
Ready to go, but never to return. Oh, son, the night before thy wedding day hath death lain with thy bride. There she is.
Have I thought long to see this morning's face? And doth it give me such a sight as this?
Cursed, unhappy, wretched, hateful day! Most miserable hour that e'er time spent in lasting labor of its pilgrimage.
Oh, lamentable day! Oh, never has there been so black a day in this house!
Beguiled, divorced, wronged, spited, slain! Most detestable death by thee beguiled!
Child, my soul and not my child dead. Art thou dead? Oh, like my child is dead, and with my child my hopes are buried.
Peace, oh, for shame! Confusion's cure lies not in these confusions. Heaven and yourself had part in this fair maid, and now heaven hath all. And all the better is it for the maid. You could not keep your part in her from death, but heaven now keeps his part in eternal life.
All things that we ordain in festival turn from their office to black funeral.
Sir, go you in. And madam, go with me, and go you, Sir Paris. Everyone prepare to follow this fair course under her grave.
She is well and nothing can be ill. Her body sleeps in Capel's monument, and her immortal part with the angels lives. I saw her laid low in her kindred's vault, and presently took post to tell of you.
Thou knowest my lodging, get me ink and paper, and hire post horses. I will hence tonight.
I beseech thee, have patience. Thy looks are pale and wild, and to import some misadventure.
Thou art deceived. Juliet, be gone. And hire those horses. I'll be with thee straight. Juliet, I will lie with thee tonight. I see for means. Mischief. Thou art swift to enter in the thoughts of desperate men. As I remember, an apothecary. This should be the house. Late I noted in tattered weeds and overwhelming brows. And this same needy man should sell it to me. Being holiday, the beggar's shop is shut. What ho, apothecary!
Who calls so loud?
Come hither, man! I see thou art poor. Hold! There is 40 ducats! Let me have a dram of poison, such soon speeding gear that will disperse itself through all the veins that the life-weary taker all fall dead.
Such moral drugs I have, but Monchua's law is death to any he that utters them.
Art thou so bare and full of wretchedness and fierce to die? Famine is in thy cheeks. The world is not thy friend, nor the world's law. The world affords no law to make thee rich. Then be not poor, but break it and take this.
My poverty, but not my will consent.
I pay thy poverty and not thy will.
Put this in any liquid thing you will, and drink it off. And if you had the strength of 20 men, it would dispatch you straight.
Here is thy gold. Farewell. Buy food and get thyself in flesh. Cordial and not poison. Go with me to Juliet's grave, for there must I use thee.
Holy Franciscan friar, Father Paul, his name be the voice of Brother John. Welcome from Mantua. What says Romeo? Or if his mind be rich, give me the letter.
I could not send it. Here it is again. I'll get a messenger and bring it thee.
That it was not nice, full of charge of your import, neglecting me may cause much danger. Now as I come on, and alone, Juliet will wait these next 3 hours.
Boy, stand aloof, for I will not be seen. Under yon yew tree lay thee all along, holding thine ear close to the hollow ground, so shall no foot upon the churchyard tread. Give me those flowers, do as I bid thee. Go.
I am almost afraid to stand here along this churchyard, yet I will venture.
Sweet flower, with flowers thy bridal bed I strew. Oh, woe! Thy canopy is dust and stones. Night we shall be to strew thy grave and weep. The boy gives warning something doth approach. What cursed foot wanders this way tonight?
Hold. Take this letter. Early in the morn, see thou deliver it to my lord and father. Upon my life, I charge thee, whate'er thou hearest or seest, stand all aloof and do not interrupt me in my course.
I will be gone and not trouble you.
So shalt thou show me friendship? Take thou that. Live and be prosperous. And farewell, good fellow.
For all the same, I'll hide me hereabout, as looks I fear and intents I doubt.
Detestable mob, thou womb of death, gorged with the dearest morsel of the earth.
This is that banished haughty Montague that murdered my love's cousin, with which grief it is supposed that fair creature died. Stop thy unhallowed toil, vile Montague. Can vengeance be pursued further than death? Condemned villain, I do apprehend thee. Obey, and go with me, for thou must die.
Indeed I must, and therefore came I hither. Good, gentle youth, tempt not a desperate man. I do beseech thee, youth, put not another sin upon my head by urging me to fury. Be gone.
By heaven, I love thee better than myself.
I do defy thy conjurations, and apprehend thee for a felon here.
Wilt thou provoke me? Then have at thee, boy.
If I will call the watch.
I am slain. Thou be merciful, open the tomb, lay me with Juliet.
Faith I will. Through this fate. Shield's kinsman, noble county Mary, I will bury thee in a triumphant grave. This vault of feasting is full of light. Death lie down there by a dead man interred. So often men are at the point of death, have they been married? My love, my wife, death that has sucked the honey of thy breath has had no power yet upon thy beauty. Thou art not conquered. Beauty's ensign is crimson in thy lips and in thy cheeks, and death's pale flag is not advanced there. Tybalt, liest thou there in that bloody sheet? Forgive me, cousin. Juliet, why art thou yet so fair? Shall I believe that unsubstantial death is amorous? For fear of that, I still will stay with thee, and never from this palace of dim night depart again. Here shall I remain. Where's my love? Oh, true apothecary, I drug thee quick. Thus, with a kiss I die.
Oh, comfortable friar, where's my lord? I do remember where I should be, and there I am. Where's my... Romeo! What's this? A cup closed in my true love's hand? This makes me have all my time consent. Oh, Gerald, don't call and let no friendly hound drop to help me after. I shall kiss thy lips. Haply some poison yet doth hang on them to help me die and restore him. My lips are warm.
Lead boy, which way?
Yea, a noise. And on me breathe. Oh, happy dagger, this is thy sheep. Rest there and let me die.
Oh, laxity.
This is the place, there, where the torch stopped burning.
The crowd is bloody. Search by the churchyard. Go to some of you, whoever you find attached. The sight, here lies the count slain, and Juliet bleeding, warm and newly dead. He hath lain this 2 days buried. Go, tell a prince, run to the Capulets, raise up the Montagues. We see the ground is woes to lie, but the true ground is hideous woe. We cannot without circumstance cry.
We found Romeo's man. He was in the churchyard.
Hold him in safety till the prince come hither.
Here is a friar.
weeps and sighs.
A great suspicion. Stay the fire too.
What misadventure is so early up that calls our person from our morning's rest?
What should it be? All to shriek abroad.
People in the streets cry Romeo, some Juliet, and others Paris, and all come running with open outcry towards our monuments.
Search, seek, and know how this foul murder comes.
Here is a friar, and son of Romeo's man, with instruments upon them fit to open these dead men's tombs.
Heaven, oh, wife of our daughter, bleeds. This dagger hath used pain, for lo, his house is empty on the back of Montague, and it is sheathed in my daughter's bosom.
Only this sight of death is a bell that warns my old age to the sepulchre.
Come, Montague, thou art early up, to see thy son and heir more early down.
Alas, my liege, my wife is dead tonight. Grief of the exile of my son has stopped her breath. The further woe conspires against mine age.
Look, and thou shalt see.
Oh, thou untaught! What manners is in this? To press before thy father to a grave!
Seal up the mouth of outrage for a while, till we can clear these ambiguities and know their spring, their head, their true descent. Bring forth the parties of suspicion.
Romeo, they're dead, was husband to that Juliet, and she, they're dead, that Romeo's faithful wife. I married them. And their stolen marriage day was Tybalt's doomsday, whose untimely death banished the new-made bridegroom from this city. You, betrothed him, would have married her, perforce to Conte Paris. Then comes she to me, and with wild looks bid me devise some means to rid her of the second marriage, or in my cell there would she kill herself. Then gave I her, so tutored by my heart, a sleeping potion, which took effect as I intended, for it wrought upon her the form of death. Oh. Meantime, I writ to Romeo that he should hither come to help to take her from her borrowed grave, at the point that the potion's force should cease. But he that bore my letter, Friar John, was stayed by accident, and yesternight returned my letter to me. When I came, there lay, untimely, noble Paris and true Romeo dead, and she, it seems, did violence on herself. All this I know, and to the marriage her nurse is privy. And if aught in this miscarried by my fault, let my old life be sacrificed some hour before his time unto the rigor of severest law.
We still have known thee to be a holy man. Benvolio, what can you say in this?
I brought Romeo news of Juliet's death, and in post he came from Mantua. This letter he early bid me give his father, and then threatened me with death going into the vault if I depart not, and left him here.
My master came with flowers, to strew on his lady's grave, and bid me stand aloof, so I did. Anon comes home with light to ope the tomb, and by my master drew on him, and then I ran to call the watch.
This letter doth make good the friar's words.
Oh, brother Montague, give me thy hand. This is my daughter's jointure, for no more can I demand.
But I will give thee more, for I will raise her statue in pure gold, that while Verona by that name is known, there shall no figure at such rate be set as that of true and faithful Juliet.
As rich shall Romeo's by his lady's lie, for sacrifices to our enmity.
A glooming peace this morning with it brings. The sun for sorrow will not show his head. Go hence and have more talk of these sad things. Some shall be pardoned, and some punished, for never was a story of more woe than this of Juliet and her Romeo.